Hi, this is Kitty Boitnott of Boitnott Coaching, and I would like to welcome you to this presentation of changing your career. How do you know when it's time for a change? This is a free workshop that is intended to speak to teachers who are increasingly questioning whether or not they can continue to teach indefinitely, or whether it's time to at least explore career alternatives. It's also for mid-career professionals or young professionals or more veteran professionals who are just ready for a change. It may be because you're bored or you're burnt out or your life circumstances have changed in such a way that you just don't want to continue in your current path. And yet, in many cases, the people that I work with don't know what to do or where to start. So that's what this workshop is intended to help with. How to address, how do you know? And once you do know that it's time for a change, what do you do then? So that's where we're going to be going with this particular presentation. I want you to consider, and I'm guessing you wouldn't be here today if you already loved your job, right? So, but consider on a scale of 1 to 10, do you love your current job? Do you look forward to going to work every day? Do you feel excited about the work that you're doing, the people that you're working with, the individuals that you work for? Or do you dread every Monday morning? Do you start out Monday looking forward to Friday, feeling like, just you have to get through one more week? If that's the case, then certainly you should be thinking about making a change. Maybe you're fretting because you already know it's time for a change. You know you don't love your current job. But the next question is, what do you do? What do you do instead? Where do you turn? How do you reinvent or retool yourself, especially if you happen to have already invested a number of years in your teaching career or your current career, whatever that may be? I want to assure you that you are in place if you identify with any one of these 3 scenarios. And it's possible that you might be a combination. So consider, are you an A? You hate your current job and you're ready to break free once and for all, but you don't know where to start. Or maybe you're a B. Maybe you've lost your job. Maybe you're currently unemployed, even though the statistics are that we're at the lowest unemployment rate in years, which is good news. That's on a macro level. On a micro level, people lose their jobs all the time. I just got an email today from a former client her current job didn't work out, and she's been notified that her contract won't be renewed. So she's got to make some decisions. What's she going to do now? What is next for her? So if you've been unemployed, or you're anticipating being unemployed, or you're perhaps underemployed right now and you want to go for a better, bigger job than you have now, then you might want to know more about how do you make that change so you're in the right place. The economy is getting stronger, and I heard just this morning on the news that employers are struggling to find the right people for the jobs that they have to fill. In other words, there may be lots of people who are available, but they don't have the skill that is needed. So perhaps it's time for you to retool yourself in such a way that you can make yourself a strong candidate for something that, a newer type of job, something that is perhaps an option that you've not considered before. But again, all of this hinges on, do you know how to start? Do you know where to begin? and most people don't. And finally, the third scenario is that you've been out of work for a while, and maybe you've been looking for a job, or maybe I work with people like this all the time. They're still teaching, they're still in their current job, whatever that happens to be, but they are not happy. They've known for a while that they weren't happy, and they're ready to make a change. If that's the case, great. But again, you don't know where to go. You don't know where to begin. Your current job search isn't going anywhere fast. You're not finding the options that you thought you might. And the problem may be that you're not looking in the right places, or you're unaware of some of the options that might be available to you. One of the things that I pride myself on as a coach is that I help my clients create the space for safe exploration that doesn't cost anything, but allows you to freely explore possibilities that perhaps you never considered before because you didn't think it was possible. I ask my clients to suspend their disbelief at first so that they can open up their mind and create the space for new possibilities that they haven't considered before. Now, I've been doing this. I started in April of 2013, so I'm coming up on my 5th anniversary as an online career coach, someone who specializes in working with teachers who are burnt out and ready to make a career change. I also work with, like I said earlier, mid-career professionals who are ready for a change for whatever reason. I was named one of the top career coaches online by Career Toolkit in 2016. I'm currently a member of Forbes Coaches Council, and I regularly contribute to Forbes.com. I've been a featured career expert with AARP, and I also speak, as well as having written a couple of books, and I'm working on a new one right now. And I work in the area of career development with my clients who are ready for some sort of transition in their work. So here's the good news. Don't you love good news? Good news. You are the architect of your own life. Nobody else. You are also the architect of your own career, which means you are in the driver's seat. You get to make decisions about which direction you want to go, how far you want to go, how fast you want to go. You get to decide all of those things. You're always choosing your next move. Even when you don't realize it, you're choosing. In every moment, you're at choice. You get to choose what to do, how to do it, always. The bad news is that choosing can be hard. It can be confusing. It can be a daunting process, especially if you are of a certain age and at a certain point in your career and you feel like, I don't have time for mistakes. I need to get on with it. I made a mistake, maybe, in my first career. I don't want to make the same mistake, and I don't have time to be exploring or playing around. I need to get down to the business of, how do I move forward? How do I create the job or the career of my dreams? Something that I will look forward to, something where I feel validated and like what I'm doing is making a difference. That's what we all want in our lives. No one is an exception to that. Everybody wants to feel like the work that you're doing, the contribution you're making, will ultimately make a difference to somebody. And so my question to you is, so what if you make a mistake along the way? It's not the end of the world. What happens is you learn from your mistakes and you move on. People make mistakes. Nobody is exempt. Everybody is human. And sometimes we trust our intuition when maybe we shouldn't, and we make a mistake. We make a false step. But you can always course correct. That's where you are always at choice again. So you course correct if you make a mistake. It's not the end of the world. Mistakes are learning opportunities. And I love this. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. The only people who never make a mistake are the ones who are never stretching themselves, never reaching beyond their comfort zone. You know, think of some of the most successful people in the world that we know of. None of them have gotten through their career this far without some sort of misstep. Richard Branson talks about some of his missteps. Steve Jobs wasn't always at the pinnacle of his career. He made mistakes along the way too. And yet, think about the contribution they've made along with others. So here's a hard truth, and one that I want you to remember if you don't remember anything else. Job hunting, even in the best of circumstances, is confusing and complex. It is complicated. It is multifaceted. It's like putting together a big old jigsaw puzzle. And many people don't have a clue where to begin. And what makes it worse is that everyone you ask will tell you something different. If you ask for advice, you'll get it. Everybody has an opinion. The problem is not all of their opinions are well informed or grounded in what is the latest economic information or the latest good advice about how to handle your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letter, how to approach a prospective employer, how to negotiate your salary once you've been offered something. All of that is the interviewing, which is the most difficult part, but that's just one part of the job search process. So what I would like for you to do is to set aside the next few minutes just to listen and let this information wash over you. And take notes, get out some paper and a pen or pencil, take lots of notes. I'm going to be talking really fast because I'm offering my best information about what I believe to be true and what I've learned over the course of the last 5 years. And, you know, my history is that I was an educator, but I've had an opportunity to work with one of the leading career coaches in the country. I was trained with her. I worked with her and her team for 14 months. And I had clients from all over the world in all walks of life. And I helped each of them get closer to their dream job, which is what I want to help you do. So my promise to you is that in this presentation, you will learn that the only way to find or create the job or career of your dreams is to know and understand 3 secrets. 3 secrets. I'm going to offer you the 3 secrets along with the proven strategy for helping you get started. And I want you to get started sooner rather than later. Now, if you stick around to the end, you'll have an opportunity to get a free gift. This is a 94-page guide, 10 things you need to know if you think you're ready for a career change. I highly recommend it. It's some of my best stuff. I've curated articles from when I was writing regularly for careeralism.com before it became workitdaily.com. My articles are still being republished periodically by workitdaily.com as well as Forbes.com. So this is a curation of articles that I've written, organized by topic, and also the 10 considerations that I think you need to take into account when you have decided it's time to change your career. The guide is intended to help you avoid making some mistakes. Now, fair warning, I do have an offer at the end. I've created a new revamped offer for my Jumpstart Your Job Search group coaching program. I've extended it. I've added in some extra benefits, and I hope you'll stick around to hear more about that. I'm running right now a St. Patrick's Day special through the end of the month of March. So I hope you'll take advantage of at least knowing about the special. So let me tell you just real quickly. I know you don't want to hear a long, drawn-out story about who I am, but in case you don't know, that's me at a convention. I think it was probably in fact, I know it was my very last convention as president of the Virginia Education Association. And I look a little wistful in that picture because I was looking out over the audience of 800 people who had gathered together for the state convention to talk about education and to advocate for better public education and better circumstances, better learning situations for teachers and for students. And I was wistful because, frankly, I was just exhausted at this point. It was in April of 2012. I had come to realize that I was experiencing profound symptoms of burnout. I was just exhausted, physically, mentally, emotionally, wrung out like a wet dish rag. That's how I felt. I was going through the motions. Thankfully, I never got sick. But now that I look back at it, I realize I was so tired and so run down. I'm really lucky that I didn't get ill during that time. But I knew I was running on an empty tank. And that's what led me to decide that going back to a traditional classroom where I had been offered an English position teaching middle school students, I was out. It's not what I knew that I wanted to do. I was just certain that I would not only not be good for kids, but I was too tired to do a good job. And if I can't do something well, I'd prefer not to do it, frankly. So I kept asking myself, now, if I'm not going to go back to teaching, what the heck? Now what? What will I do? What I knew for sure was that I needed a break. And so I took one. When my term came to an end at the end of July, I took 6 months off. I was really lucky, very, very fortunate to have that opportunity that I could just rest and recoup and rejuvenate myself. And it was wonderful. But in January of 2013, I started thinking, okay, I now need to start thinking about work. My dilemma was, and I suspect this is your dilemma, I didn't know what I wanted to do next. I also knew that in my case, I was ridiculously overqualified on paper for just about any job I might be interested in doing. Because at that point, after retiring from teaching, I'm thinking I really don't want a high pressure job. I don't want something that's going to be 60 hours a week like my previous job. Thanks, but no thanks. I wanted something, more laid back, more low key, something where I wasn't subject to someone else's whim and demand. And I didn't know where to go for that, for sure. So I started looking around. I ended up hiring a coach. One of the things that she said I needed to do is get out and network. So I went to 2 events. I went to one event on a Tuesday and learned about the next event, which was coming up on that Wednesday. And I went to that event, which looks very similar to this picture. It's not the same day, but very similar. And what I did that day was I listened to the speaker talking about following your passion and then finding your next job. And everything he said resonated on such a deep level for me that I came home that afternoon and I wrote a long email to my career coach. I said, you've been asking me what I wanted to do next, and I haven't been able to articulate it. I really haven't thought it was possible. But given the message I got today, loud and clear, that I should follow my passion and maybe create my own job in my case, that's what I want to do. And so I wrote out for her pretty much a mission statement of what it was that I wanted to do next. And she responded in such a way that I felt like I had permission. And that may sound silly, but I really felt like I just needed affirmation that what I wanted to do was possible. That it wasn't a pipe dream, that it wasn't foolish of me to entertain. And all she really said was, if you feel this strongly about it, you should at least investigate it. You owe it to yourself to explore it. And I suddenly felt like the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders. Now, another thing that I heard on this particular day from this particular message, this was in February of 2013. And in January of that year, a Gallup poll had been released that indicated that 70% of American workers hate their job. They either hate their job or they're totally disengaged in their job. And that was 5 years ago. Things haven't gotten a lot better. I've been following Gallup and the author of that report, Jim Harter. And even as recently as last year, he wrote about how in worldwide, the figure is actually more like 85%. Job burnout and low morale, as bad as it is here, is worse in Japan, believe it or not. And yet it's bad enough here. 16% of American workers report being totally disengaged in their job, just going through the motions. Now, 16% doesn't sound like a lot, but would you want to be one of those 16%? I don't. And I remember sitting there in that room listening to that speaker thinking, I don't want to be a part of the I hate my job club. I've done that in the past. I'm not interested in that for this latter third of my life. The other key component for me was I had turned 60 between the time I finished up my term at the VEA and I was starting this new search. I had turned 60. And so, ageism is real. You have to deal with that. Now, I don't think it should be a barrier. I don't think it should keep you from exploring what it is that you really want to do. But in my case, what I really wanted to do was to use my advanced degrees. I have 3 of them, along with my being a national board certified teacher and being a licensed minister. I wanted to combine all of that into a coaching career. And that was major for me because I really had trouble imagining that coaching was a real thing. But what I knew for sure was that I wanted to feel good about what I did next. And that meant for me that I wanted to reinvent and retool myself. And out of all of that was born on April 6th, 2013, Boitnott Coaching, LLC. And I've never looked back, and I've always been grateful for the opportunity to do what I'm doing now. This is how I know that what I'm offering you works, though. If I could reinvent myself at the age of 60, then I guarantee you can do it wherever you happen to be in your life. I know you're probably skeptical. You may be sitting out there thinking, well, Kitty, that's great for you, but how does that pertain to me? I want you to also know if you've tried in the past and failed, it's not your fault. You didn't have all the information that you needed. If you're concerned that this time you won't succeed, I want you to put those fears and concerns aside, because what I want you to know is that if you want this badly enough, you can do it. I know you can. Now, you need to be willing to suspend disbelief. You need to be willing to dream big. You need to be willing to set goals. And you need to be willing to take action, because none of this happens magically. The job fairy will not come knocking on your door. If you're not doing your part, the universe cannot do its part. It can't meet you halfway, which is what needs to happen. So you put into motion your desire for whatever it is that you want, but you have to be really specific about what it is that you want. And then you have to be willing to do something about it. It can't just stay something inside of your head. Doing that just makes it a wish, a dream, a hope. It's not a goal. Somebody has said that goals are dreams with a deadline, and that's pretty true. So where you are right now on the spectrum of job search skill is probably down here at novice or at least learner, right? I want you to take advantage of my expertise. I've been working at this long enough that I'm an expert in career transition and job search strategy. And as I said, I specialize in working with teachers who are burnt out and ready for a change, or mid-career professionals who are bored or burnt out and ready for a change. So, are you ready for those 3 secrets I mentioned earlier? They're not really secrets, but these are things that you need to pay attention to and consider when you are undertaking a major life change, whether it's your career or something else. These are things you need to take into account. The first secret is simply know what you want. And I know that sounds so simple, and yet nothing could be harder for most people. I ask all of my potential clients, people that I talk with on the phone every day, so have you thought about what you do want to do next? You don't want to teach anymore. You don't want to do what you've been doing anymore, but have you thought about what you do want? 1 out of 100 can say, oh yeah, I know exactly what I'd like to do. 99 out of 100 say, I wish I knew. That's part of the problem. That's why I'm talking to you, because I don't know. I don't have a clue. Secret number 2 is knowing, knowing how to use different job search tools properly. You need to observe certain protocols. It's part of the schematic, if you will, the process of job search. In other words, you need to know what the rules are. It's kind of like a game. You wouldn't set up a chess board, excuse me, and not know how to play the game, would you? You wouldn't have any chance of winning if you did. You need to know the rules. Every game, and life is something of a game, and certainly one of the attitudes to bring to job search strategy is that it's like a strategic game. And in order to be successful and win at it, you need to know what the rules are. Secret 3, and perhaps this is the most difficult one. The other things you can determine, you can decide what you want, and you can learn the rules. You can develop the tools that you need. But the secret sauce is having the determination and exhibiting the perseverance and using the patience that you need to get through the process in putting all of these tools together, because I won't kid you, it takes time. It takes time to learn, and it takes time to implement. The average job search in today's world is somewhere between 4 and 9 months. That's just a fact. So more people are being hired, but as I said earlier, one of the dilemmas that employers have is they're having trouble finding the right kind of candidate with the skills that they need for particular jobs. The other thing, this goes along with the secret sauce of determination, patience, perseverance, It's that you need a powerful plan of execution, and you need to be willing to act on it every single day, even if it's only 10 minutes a day, that you pay attention to your plan. Now, I wish I could tell you that this is a straightforward, easy process that all you have to do is decide what you want and learn what the tools are, and boom, you've got your dream job. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. There's lots of ups and downs. It's been referred to as a roller coaster. You'll think you've found your ideal job only to find that you came in second. You think that for sure you're going to be offered a particular position, and boom, they've decided to go with somebody else. It happens all the time. It's not personal. They're looking for someone very specific, and if you don't meet the specific criteria, it's not personal. It's not about you. It's about what they need, what they're looking for. So one of the benefits of my program is that I teach everything you need to know about the process, starting with helping you decide what is it that you want to do next, and then teaching you about the specific tools and supporting you as you work your way through the program, so that when you complete the program, you're ready to move on your own. Now, this is Deanna. She was a client that started working with me last year, toward the end of the school year. And this is what she wrote to me in an email just a few days after she made her purchase. I have to tell you, the spring in my step is back. I'm already feeling reinvigorated. This investment has brought remarkable value already. She hadn't been in the program a week. But what she found as the result of being part of that program was that she was able to feel empowered again. She didn't feel like a victim anymore. She had taken the helm, if you will, and she was steering her own course. It made a huge difference in the way she approached everything from that point on. So here's a question for you. If you followed what I showed you using the 3 secrets of successful job searching, along with me helping you to decide what you want, the tools that you need, and how to develop a powerful plan of execution, do you think you could be successful? Well, of course you could. It would be a no-brainer. The first thing you need is focus, and then you need to decide where it is that you want to go. I liken it to deciding on a vacation destination. You would not book your airfare or your hotel until you decided where you want to go, right? So you don't write your resume until you figured out what it is that you're looking for. Same goes for your cover letter and your LinkedIn profile. You also have to consider all of the other social media platforms that you happen to be on. You want to think about your brand moving forward. You want to learn how to interview so that you become a top candidate. And it's a lot. It's a lot to consider. It's a lot to incorporate. It's a lot to learn. But it all boils back down to, what do you want to do? I tell people, if you're really stuck, you can think about, what did you want to do when you were a little kid? What was it that you dreamed of being when you were small? Before somebody told you, no, that's not possible. You can't do that. So then the other thing I want you to be thinking about is, what is it you're most afraid of? What would be holding you back from starting on a new career path, learning what you need to know in order to create or find the job of your dreams? Are you afraid of failure? Or are you afraid of success? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Now, I want you to consider, because we are moving into an entrepreneurial-based economy, that it might not be as out of reach for you to start your own company or be your own boss as you might think. It's not for everybody. But if you want to be a consultant, for example, a speaker, a writer, an author, these are opportunities for you, alternatives, if you will, that you could take on even while you're still in your current job. Don't do anything rash. Don't quit until you're ready. But you could be working on, there's a guy out there that talks about the side hustle. A lot of teachers have side hustles. You know, they wait tables or they work at Starbucks, but they have a side hustle. Sometimes they start their own blog. Sometimes they start their own online business. Or maybe they open a store, a specialty store of some sort. I have a friend who started an aromatherapy soap business that is all about creating soothing, therapeutic scents that are meant to relax teachers in particular. I believe she calls it the blissful teacher. Here's something I want you to keep in mind. This is a study that was done in 2015, so it's already old, by the Intuit software company. And what they predict is that by 2020, more than 40% of the American workforce, or 60 million people, will be freelancers, contractors, or temp workers. Think about that for a minute. The report also said that in the next 7 years, so if we're talking now 2022, the number of small and personal businesses in the U.S. alone will increase by more than 7 million, and full-time, full benefit jobs are going to be harder to find. Most of these businesses are going to be web-based or mobile-based, and the individuals working them will work from all over the world with people from all over the world. Many of them will be working remotely from home or another place of their choice. By 2020, 1 in 6 Americans will be 65 or older, and we're not, I include myself, we're not traditional seniors. We continue to work either full-time or part-time because we can and we want to continue to contribute. So what does all that mean for you? You know your personal circumstance, what age you are, where you are in your life. Where are you going to be in 2020, which is just 2 years from now, or 2025 or 2040? Where will you be? What will the jobs of the future even be? And I know that not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but I wanted to open that up as a possibility for you. I want you to be thinking in terms of your dream job. What is your dream job? Do you simply want to make a lateral move or perhaps get a promotion inside of your current industry? Or are you ready to break free on your own for good? The good news is that you don't have to change anything overnight. Like I said, I don't encourage you to be rash or, in fact, I want you to be strategic, not impulsive. I also want you to remember, however, that if you don't do something, nothing will happen. Small steps can lead to big changes over time. And if you are really unhappy in your current position, what's the point in delaying doing something about it? You're simply putting off until later what may be an inevitable move. It's been said that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today, not tomorrow. So let me quickly share the story of John Grisham, who started out writing as a side hustle. He was a lawyer in a small town in Mississippi. He had an idea for a book, a novel, after observing a trial down there. But he didn't have time to write it. It wouldn't go away, though. The idea kept percolating in his brain. And he kept thinking somehow he wanted to get the story written. So he committed to himself that he would go into the office 30 minutes early every day, and he would write. And he would write for 30 minutes before the phone started ringing or people started coming in for appointments. He did that for 3 years. He finally finished the book. Then he had trouble getting it published. Nobody wanted it. He finally got it published, small publication, not a big fanfare, not the original reason that you know who John Grisham is. His next book, however, had popped into his head, and he kept writing 30 minutes every day. That book, when it was published, became a big mega hit. I think it was it was either the firm or the client. I can never remember for sure which. His third book, though, was The Pelican Brief, and we've all seen that movie, I'm sure. By then, people were curious, who is this John Grisham guy and what else has he written? So his publishing company republished his first book, which was A Time to Kill, also made into a movie. So for the last 30 years, he's been a full-time author. He's published more than 30 books. He's done mostly legal thrillers. He's credited with having invented the genre. But the point is, he didn't decide one day to quit his job and write a novel. He wrote on the side as a side gig until he was in a position to quit his law firm. He listened to his inner voice, the voice that had that story to tell and would not go away. I want you to do the same. I want you to listen to your inner wisdom. Somewhere inside you, something is telling you, this is what you should be doing. This is what you want to do next. And it's possible that you're pushing it aside because you don't think you can do it. You don't see how you would do it. You question yourself. We all have that nasty little who do you think you are voice in the back of our heads. We all have it. So I want you to listen to your inner voice, except when it's telling you you can't do what your dream wants you to do. I love a song by Jana Stanfield that starts, "What would I do today if I were brave?" I want you to be brave. I want you to know that if you are brave, you can do anything. I truly believe that. We are capable as individuals of so much more than we give ourselves credit for. I know that to be true. Now, I also know that you may not be able to make this massive change in your life alone. You may need help in creating or finding your dream job. And that's where my program comes in. I've come up with a 10-part program that addresses every aspect of the job search process, starting with what do you want to do next? There's recommended reading, some assessments, some journaling that I recommend that you do. Getting in touch with what is it that your inner voice is telling you you should do. That's where the program starts. It helps you to gain the clarity, the focus you need on what's next for you. It is a 10-part program. You get lifetime access to it. So once you've purchased it, you have it for life. If I change any aspect of it, add to it, revamp it, it's still yours. You don't have to rebuy anything. It's yours. 10-part online curriculum that's designed specifically to help you redesign, reinvent, retool for your next career. During the first 6 months after your purchase, I'm going to offer you unlimited email support. Now, this is 2 months more than I've been offering because, as I said earlier, the job search process can take anywhere from 4 to 9 months. The original program started out as a 90-day deal, and then I went to 120 days or 16 weeks. For your program that's starting, in, the group is starting mid-April, I'm going to be offering support to you through 6 months. 6 months of support. And that means unlimited email support, 12 group coaching calls that will be bi-monthly by Zoom. We'll meet every other Monday evening from 7 to 8 Eastern Standard Time, or in our case right now, Daylight Savings Time. And there'll be 12 calls over the course of the 6 months. You'll have access to a private Facebook page that is just for members of the Jumpstart program. Each module consists of a video tutorial with me giving you my best information, and I will also offer supporting materials that go along with the material provided in that video, right? So here's what's included. In lesson 1, we get down to the nub of what is it that you want. And in lesson 2, after you've come up with at least 1 or 2 options, we work on gaining the clarity and focus that you need so that you can create SMART goals that will start you off in the right direction. Lesson 3 is all about the resume. Once you've decided where it is that you're going, you'll be ready to learn how to write your own resume. I don't write your resume for you. You write your own. You learn how to write your own resume so that you can write it and rewrite it and tweak it as often as you need to. Same thing for your cover letter. You want to write a cover letter that people will actually read, not one that they'll simply toss in the trash. I'll teach you how to do that. There are also templates that are included in both of those modules, resume templates and cover letter template. I want you to understand how the applicant tracking system works. Every job that you apply for today goes through an electronic software system that is known as the Applicant Tracking System, or ATS, and you need to know how that impacts you as you create your resume and your cover letter so that you hit the right keywords in the right proportion. You want to be a good fit for the job based on the job description. I'll teach you how to do that. So you also want to be thinking about creating a compelling online brand, and that includes a strong LinkedIn profile. You also want to create a research strategy that includes your powerful plan of execution, but you're going to be researching all the companies that you think you might like to work for. You do your intelligence on the back end before you even begin to apply for jobs. You want to make sure that this company is really in alignment with what you want to be doing. You'll also learn how to manage your social media footprint so that as you're creating your new brand, you can take charge of it online wherever you may have a footprint, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you happen to hang out. Then you finally want to be able to interview well. And there's a process for preparing for an interview. There's also very specific suggestions that I offer for how you show up for your interview. So I'll coach you through that. There are bonuses as well. One of the bonuses is a article about the importance of developing that patience and persistence, and also resisting the urge to panic when things don't work out the way you think they should. Panic will not get you anywhere. It only repels. It does not attract. All of the group coaching calls are recorded so that you can go back and refer to them anytime you want. You'll get unlimited video reviews of your resume, cover letters, and LinkedIn. As often as you need me to review them, I will do that. I will send you a video review. So I want to be mindful of time. So this is Brooke. She was an early client of mine. She's a librarian, and she was looking to make a change. In her case, she thought maybe she wanted to go back into her original area of interest. She majored in geology in college. So she wrote a resume that was more reflective of that science background that she had. As things turned out for her, she had an opportunity to apply for another library position that was closer to her home, wouldn't require a 20-minute commute with a toll, and she decided to apply just in case. She got the job. And one of the things that the principals told her that was a deciding factor was she had included some of her science background in her resume. They were specifically looking for someone with some science background because they were wanting somebody who could help their seniors with their science projects. Boom, she was the perfect fit. What she said to me after that experience was, without working with me on her resume, she might not have even thought to include her geology background. But because she'd been working on that, and because of the information she had learned in the program, she knew to include that as part of her overall picture of herself. This is Nikki. She was also an early client. She was a chemistry PhD teaching high school and wanting to teach teachers how to teach chemistry more effectively. It took her a while, but she finally landed a position doing exactly that. She is in a position that matches perfectly the description of the type of job that she said she wanted at the beginning of our work together. But she didn't know how to make that happen, and we made it happen together. So I'm not sure why you're here today or tonight, but I'm guessing that if you're still here, if you're still listening to my voice, if you're still watching this presentation, you're ready for a change. You're ready for another chapter in your career. And I want to ask you to consider, what would a program that gave you a brand new lease on life be worth to you? Many people would say that a program like that would be priceless, like the old MasterCard commercials. And many programs that include the kind of information, the kind of expertise, the kind of service that this program includes sell for thousands of dollars. And frankly, when I add up all of the perks and bonuses and the value of each of the components of the program that I'm offering you today, it comes to over $5,000. But I'm not charging $5,000. This is an investment for a 6-month service that's regularly $1,297, or $225 in 6 months, equal payments over 6 months. Now, that's a bargain considering all of the information you get, all of the service you get, all of the support you will have for 6 months, not 90 days, not anymore 120 days, 180 days of unlimited email support and encouragement and advice, along with the 12 coaching calls. I'm running right now a St. Patrick's Day special. So you can get this $1,297 program for $997, that's $300 less, or instead of $225 a month for 6 months, you can get it for $177 a month for 6 equal payments. So that is the special that I'm running right now. The group coaching calls will take place on Monday evenings at 7 p.m. Daylight saving time, not savings. And here are the dates. We'll start April 9th. We'll hold the Zoom calls April 9th and 23rd, May 7th, 14th, and 28th, June 4th and 18th, July 2nd, 16th, and 30th, and August 13th and 27th. That's 12 calls over the course of April, May, June, July, August. It's 5 months, but you get the picture. You'll get, because there are some calls, three calls in a same month. You'll actually have the support from April 9th, May, June, July, August, September. So the support won't go away. You'll continue to have the email support. All of the coaching calls are recorded so that you can go back and review them, or if you have to miss one, you can do that. Included in this particular package is a bonus of 6 private consultations that add $750 value to the program. You'll also get another bonus program called Courage, Risks, and Rewards. This is a 5-part do-it-yourself coaching package that helps you to take stock of what kind of risk are you willing to take, and are you willing to take risk that's proportionate to the reward that you would get. Many people are so risk averse that they simply stay stuck because it's better the devil they know, right? I want you to consider breaking out of the current box you've built yourself for now, and consider what would it be like if you were able to break free and break through and have the life of your dreams with the job that you really love. I'll also throw in an extra bonus of a written PDF of 3 secrets of every successful job search or career change. I'll also include a 4-part video course that's designed to help you vision the life you want and then set the goals that you need to get you there. It's based on a book by Lynn Taylor. It's a $497 value. The result of all of this is that you will have learned exactly what you need to know, and you will have developed the tools and the mindset you need to succeed in the next career that you choose for yourself. You'll have the tools that you need, and you'll understand the rules you need to know to conduct a successful job search or career change. And I want you to be thinking about questions that you may have. I want you to post them. You can send them to me, submit them to me through an email at kittyboitnott@gmail.com. But let me offer what I suspect are some thoughts that you're having right now. I'll anticipate a few questions you may have. You may be thinking, well, Kitty, this is great, and I wish I could afford it, but I don't have the money for it. I hear that a lot. I'm just a teacher. Asking for $997 is like asking for $9 million. It's just not there. I get that. I was a teacher. I had to budget every month. I still budget every month. I have a very strict budget that I go by. I know exactly what everything costs, and I know exactly what it is that I need to invest in. I want you to think in terms of this being not an expense, not a luxury, not a frill, but an investment. I want you to think of it in terms of an investment in your future. In the same way that you would invest in a course, a college course to add a certification, or keep your certification, or add another degree. This is information that you need in order to be successful, even if it means that you pull out that secret credit card that you don't ordinarily use. Maybe you keep it for emergencies. I know this isn't technically an emergency, but in a way it kind of is, because there's just, you won't find another time where you will be as committed to making the change that you want as you will right now. Now, some people are worried about finding time to do the program. Well, you'll have the summer to work on it. Even if you're working part-time or full-time, doing something else for the summer, you can make a list. You'll have 6 months to work your way through each component of the program with my assistance. And those 12 calls are intended to help keep you on track so that we're working our way through the program as a group. So I want you to think in terms of how you would incorporate it into your routine. Now, you may also be thinking, well, but what if it doesn't work? It works for other people, but what if it doesn't work for me? There's a money-back guarantee. Now, that money-back guarantee is for a full 90 days, half of the program period. But what I require is that you participate fully, that you not ask for a refund until you've been in the program 90 days and you've done at least half of the modules. You've attended half of the calls. You've done your part to get the most out of the program. Then if you still feel like, this just isn't what I need, it's not meeting my needs, I need my money back, whatever you've invested up to that point, you can get your money back. I'm so sure that this program will work for you that I feel confident. I've never had anybody ask for their money back after they've worked their way through the program. But there's always a first time. So you have that guarantee to back you up. Now, you also have the choice of continuing to stay where you are, which is stuck. You wouldn't be here if you weren't feeling stuck. You wouldn't be listening to me if you weren't in a certain amount of pain. And I get that. If you're not ready to make a decision to join this group and to get started on your future, it's because you're not enough pain yet. You may also be thinking, I can do this on my own. Now I've got these 3 secrets and I kind of know what I need to do. She went over the 10 steps, those 10 tools. I kind of know. You can do that. You can try on your own. You can do the trial and error method. It'll cost you more money in the long run. It'll certainly cost you more time. I want you to approach the change in your life with confidence, and confidence can only come from knowledge and understanding of exactly what it is that you need to do next. It's been said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, I want you to do something different so that you can actually have different results. And that may mean joining us. So here's the link, and let me pull up the offer. Hold on. I don't know why it's not showing. I'm going to pull it up here in a minute. Maybe. Here we go. So what I want you to consider is that you are interested in purchasing a seat in the new revamped Jumpstart Your Job Search program. It's entitled, the link is entitled teachersinTransition.com/St. Patrick's Day Special, all lowercase, no period in Saint. St. Patrick's Day Special. teachersinTransition.com/St. Patrick's Day Special. Make a note of that in case you decide later. Here's to recap what you get. The online, digitized, always ready for you anytime, day or night, to log in and have lifetime access to the curriculum, which is valued at $2,000. 6 months of unlimited email support. That's a $1,500 value. Unlimited video reviews of your resume, cover letters, and LinkedIn profile. That's at least $150 value. 12 group coaching calls, $1,000 value. Access to a private Facebook page for support, another $750 value. The bonus of 6 private, confidential, one-on-one consultations, a $750 value. And then when you throw in the other bonuses that I've covered, the additional ebook, the Courage, Risks, and Rewards program, the Vision, the Life You Want, Set the Goals to Get You There program, all of that comes to over $5,000. Now, here's a truth that Henry Ford once said. If you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Either way, you're right. You can do it because you believe you can, or you can not do it because you believe it's not possible. I want to help you believe in yourself, to believe in your future, to believe in something different for yourself. The reason you're here and still listening to my voice is that you are ready for a change. I want to help you get started. I want to help you design the new life of your dreams that includes the job of your dreams. I want you to be my next case study. I need not remind you, I'm sure, that the future is now. There's no time like today for you to make a decision that you want a new future for yourself. So if you're ready, click on the buy button now and let's get started. We'll be starting April 9th. And I look forward to working with you and helping you, supporting you any way that I can. Now, I promised if you stay to the end, you could get a free book called 10 Things You Need to Know. So I'm going to pull that up here. Click on Add to Cart to get your download. And enjoy that. It's yours for staying to this point in the program. And one more thing, if you decide today that you would like to participate in this next coaching cohort, I will offer to you as an extra bonus, fast action bonus, a 7-part course on managing your stress. It's a $397 value. If you buy right now, you'll get that as part of the St. Patrick's Day special that I'm offering. So I'm so glad that you've been here and that you've listened, and that I hope you've learned. If you have questions, please feel free to email me at kittyboitnott@gmail.com. Call at 804-404-5475. I'd love to chat with you to figure out if I can help you or if I can direct you to the place where you need to be in order to get the help you want and need. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. One more time, I'm going to show you the link for the Jumpstart program, and I hope you'll consider joining us. We always have fun. We always learn, and we use the support of one another in helping to add strength and confidence to each member of the group. You would benefit from it if you're ready to make the change that I suspect you're ready to make, or you wouldn't be here today. Thank you so much. This is Kitty Boitnott. I hope you have a great rest of your day.